Welcome to your channel, Stardom Stories, where we travel together through worlds filled with fantasy and excitement. In this episode, we will talk about an amazing story of kindness and humanity, starring the son of one of the world's most famous figures, Donald Trump. Stay with us to discover how a simple act can change someone's life forever. Chapter 1. The Unexpected Encounter. On a cold winter morning in New York, Barron Trump sat in the back seat of his luxury car, gazing out of the window. The streets were crowded with people, everyone walking hurriedly as if time was chasing them. Barron was on his way to his office in one of his family's companies, where he spent his time between learning and managing small projects assigned to him by his father, Donald Trump. As Barron looked out the window, an unfamiliar scene caught his attention. On the sidewalk, an elderly man sat on a cardboard box, wrapped in a tattered coat, his face showing a mixture of exhaustion and despair. People passed by him without even glancing his way. Barron felt a pang in his heart. Although he had grown up surrounded by wealth and luxury, he was not oblivious to the suffering of others. He asked the driver to stop, surprising the security guards who were used to him keeping a strict schedule. Barron stepped out of the car with steady steps, ignoring the curious stares from passers-by. He approached the elderly man, bent down beside him, and quietly said, "Hello, are you okay?" The man slowly lifted his eyes, as if being spoken to was an unusual occurrence. He whispered, "I'm fine, thank you. I just need a little something to get through the day." Barron sat beside him on the sidewalk, which further surprised the onlookers. He began a simple conversation with the man, asking about his life and what had led him to this point. Chapter 2. A Life of Brokenness. The man named John Carson had once been a skilled carpenter in Brooklyn. He had lived a simple but happy life with his small family. His wife, Mary, had been his companion, and they had one son, but a series of painful events turned his life upside down. The tragedy began when he suffered an accident while working that injured his back, leaving him unable to work. He lost his job shortly after, and debts piled up. He tried to find another job, but his age and injury made it difficult. As time passed, things worsened. His wife passed away after a long battle with illness, and his son distanced himself due to family conflicts. John found himself alone on the streets, struggling to survive. Barron listened intently. He felt a lump in his throat as he realized how harsh life had been for this man. "I can't leave you here," Barron said seriously. "I will do whatever I can to change your situation." John looked at him with eyes full of surprise and gratitude. He had not expected to find someone who cared for him in such a way. Chapter 3. A New Beginning. Barron asked his team to arrange immediate assistance for John. First, he provided him with a warm place to stay in a small hotel. Then he contacted a charity that offered support for the homeless and requested medical and psychological assistance for John. The next day, Barron took John to a high-end store and bought him new clothes. It wasn't just an act of charity for Barron. It was the beginning of an unexpected friendship. John slowly began to regain his confidence. Within weeks, he started to feel like he had come back to life. Chapter 4. The Big Decision. During this time, Barron decided to take things further. He didn't just want to help John. He wanted to change the lives of more people. He proposed the creation of a charity project called the Hope Fund, aimed at supporting the homeless and providing opportunities for them to start anew. John became the first person to benefit from this project. Not only did he receive financial support, but he was also trained in new skills, enabling him to find a simple job that he was proud of. Chapter 5. The Birth of the Hope Fund. After weeks of rebuilding John's life, Barron decided to take his idea to the next level. He sat with his team of advisors and discussed creating the Hope Fund, a new charitable organization aimed at providing financial, social, and psychological support to the homeless. "I don't want this project to be just another traditional charity initiative," Barron said in the meeting. "I want us to make a real difference. We're not just giving out money, we're giving opportunities." The idea received great support, and soon the team began drafting a comprehensive action plan. The plan included setting up shelters equipped with training programs, mobile medical clinics, and even partnerships with companies to provide job opportunities. John, who had become part of the project, was appointed as one of the organization's official spokespeople. He began attending events and sharing his inspiring story, which added real. Chapter 6. The First Challenges. Despite the overwhelming enthusiasm, the project faced huge challenges in the beginning. Some people doubted the feasibility of the project, while others accused Barron of just trying to improve his image in the media. One journalist asked in an interview, "Is this project just a way to show you are different from your father?" Barron confidently replied, "This project has nothing to do with politics or family. It's a personal initiative that reflects my values and goals. If people have doubts, I invite them to see the real work we're doing." The challenges didn't deter him. Barron continued working diligently, visiting the centers himself to ensure that the programs were being carried out correctly. Chapter 7. Inspiring Success Stories. As the months passed, the Hope Fund began to achieve tangible results. Several success stories emerged, each one more impactful than the last. Martha's story. Martha was a single mother living in a homeless shelter with her 5-year-old child. Thanks to the training program provided by the foundation, she earned a degree in accounting and secured a stable job with a major company. Jim's story. Jim, who had struggled with alcohol addiction for years, was able to receive treatment and joined a carpentry workshop thanks to the foundation's support. He now owns his own small business. Each success story motivated Barron and his team to continue their efforts and expand their reach. Chapter 8. John Pays It Forward. John, who had initially been just a beneficiary of the project, became a key part of it. He used his previous carpentry skills to offer free training courses to those seeking to learn a new trade. "In my wildest dreams, I never imagined I'd be in this position," John said in an interview. "Barron didn't just change my life, he restored my faith in humanity. Now it's my turn to give back." John's courses became highly popular and served as an inspiration to many people who had lost hope in life. Chapter 9. Global Impact. After the great success in New York, Barron decided to expand the project to other cities across the United States. The goal was not only to help the homeless, but to change the public's perception of them. He launched an awareness campaign with the slogan, "Everyone deserves a second chance." The project quickly gained support from businessmen and celebrities. Even some major companies offered funding and logistical support. Chapter 10. The Moment of Recognition. A year after establishing the Hope Fund, Barron received an international award for his humanitarian efforts. At the award ceremony, he took the stage and said, "This award is not just for me. It's for everyone who believed in the idea, for everyone who benefited from it, and for everyone who became part of the change. Humanity is not a choice. It's a duty we all share." The audience stood and applauded for a long time. At that moment, Barron realized that what he had started was bigger than he had ever imagined. Chapter 11. Returning to John. Despite all the success, Barron never forgot the person who had been his first inspiration, John. He invited him to his office one day and asked, "How do you feel now?" John smiled and said, "I feel like I'm part of something bigger. You didn't just give me a new life, you gave me a chance to be valuable again." Barron held John's hand and said, "The story isn't over yet. We still have more to offer the world." Chapter 12. Global expansion of the project. With the tremendous success of the Hope Fund in the United States, Barron began to think about expanding the project to other countries. He reached out to international organizations and potential partners in Europe, Asia, and Africa. His goal was to reach communities facing similar issues, but under more difficult circumstances. The first country outside the U.S. to host the project was India. Due to the large number of homeless people there, the need for similar support was urgent. Barron worked with a team of local experts to implement programs tailored to the cultural and social needs of Indian society. At the opening of one of the centers in Mumbai, Barron said, "We are here because we believe that humanity knows no boundaries. Every person in the world deserves a chance to live with dignity." The center became a model, helping hundreds of people find shelter, job training, and work opportunities. Chapter 13. The Supporting Characters. Clara, the dedicated lawyer. Clara was one of the key figures who joined the project from the beginning. A young lawyer, she specialized in defending the rights of the homeless. She helped draft legal contracts to ensure that beneficiaries received their rights. She always said, We can't change the world if we don't change the laws that bind it. Danny, the devoted volunteer. Danny was a young man who had a difficult childhood in an orphanage. When he heard about the project, he decided to dedicate his life to helping others. He worked tirelessly organizing events, raising funds, and even providing emotional support to the homeless. Danny found a new family in the project, and Barron considered him one of the pillars of its success. Chapter 14. Political Obstacles. As the project expanded, new obstacles arose. Some local governments in the countries hosting the project were not welcoming of the initiative, claiming that charity work should be done through official channels. At one meeting, a government official told Barron, "We appreciate your efforts, but you must operate under our full supervision." Barron firmly responded, "We are here to help people, not to control any system. If your goal is the same as ours, we can work together." This stance earned Barron the respect of many, but it also made him a target for criticism from certain political and media groups. Chapter 15. An Unexpected Return. While Barron was busy expanding the project, an unexpected surprise occurred. John's son, who had been estranged from him for years due to family conflicts, decided to return and reconnect with his father after hearing his inspiring story. Michael, John's son, appeared at one of the events where John was sharing his story. After John finished speaking, Michael approached him and said, "Dad, I didn't know you needed me like this. I'm sorry for not being there." John couldn't hold back his tears. He embraced Michael and said, "It's always possible to come back, my son. I'm glad you're here now." This reunion closed the painful chapter of John's life, and Michael became part of the project, working as a mentor to young people facing similar struggles. Chapter 16. Media Reflections. As the project gained more fame, Barron became a global symbol of charitable work. The media interviewed him many times, and he became a regular guest at international humanitarian conferences. But with fame came a wave of criticism. Some people questioned Barron's motives, claiming that the project was merely meant to enhance his public image. In a television interview, the host asked, "How do you respond to those who say you're doing this for personal reasons?" Barron calmly replied, "Actions speak louder than words. I don't care what's said about me. What matters is that the project is really helping people. If doubts motivate others to do more, then so be it." Chapter 17. Long-term Sustainability. As the number of beneficiaries grew, Barron began thinking about how to make the project sustainable in the long term. He decided to create a digital platform to collect data on beneficiaries and provide them with online training in various fields like programming, digital marketing, and small business management. He also partnered with major tech companies to provide free computers to beneficiaries. This step helped secure new job opportunities and turned the project into a global model that was being studied in universities. Chapter 18. The End, but not the conclusion. After years of hard work, the Hope Fund became a global organization operating in over 50 countries. Barron, who had started the idea by helping one elderly man, witnessed how a small idea could transform into a global movement. John, who had been the starting point, said at one conference, "Barron didn't just change my life, he changed my view of the world. I now believe that anyone can be part of change." Barron ended one of his speeches saying, "Giving has no limits and doesn't end with one person.